This is a Samurai Nation podcast on the Samurai Nation Podcast Network. Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Cool Podcast. Thanks for subscribing to the show, being a patron on the Patreon. And that's what's bringing us here today to do the Cool Podcast, is all the cool patrons up in this piece supporting the show. So we thank you for that. We've got a fun one coming up. I'm excited for this one. We've got some big news. We've got a lot of stuff to cover. It's going to be a lot of fun. Whew, so I guess I better think of some other stuff to say because I'm still doing the intro. The music is still flowing and pumping. Like I said, we've got a fun show today. A lot of your favorite segments coming up. Some people you've heard of, some stuff you've never heard. All kinds of good stuff. So get ready. Get strapped in. Here we go. It's time for the Cool Podcast. It's time for the Cool Podcast. Well, we've got some exciting news today. I can't wait to get into it. But before we do that, we need some more motivation. We need to hear from one of our favorite motivators out there, because things are truly nuts right now. And the whole world is all full of ups and downs and left and right and twists and turns. So in these trying times, you need people on the web who've got some great inspirational messages to get us through things. And before I do anything on the podcast, in order to get myself in the right frame of mind, we got to hear from Miss Anna Brown. She does motivation stuff and is a light bringer. She brings the light, and she's going to tell us how to nestle. I haven't watched any of her newest videos, so we're just going to jump into it and see what she's got to say and hope we get some motivation so that we can continue doing the show today and so that it'll be a good show. So here we go. There's a couple videos here. I'm just going to do the latest one, and we'll see what happens here. Let me make sure the sound is working, and let's see what she's up to. Hello,
beautiful hearts. I want to take a moment and talk about resistance and what to do with it when it arises in your body. First thing to know is you don't do anything. Don't touch the resistance, because our reflex is to, what did I do wrong here? Let's try to fix this.
It's so good.
Mantras. Let's do a handstand. Let's try to do some energy clearing. Why am I in so much resistance? Why? Why?
Let's do quiet.
Oh my God, it's because I ate that cookie yesterday. I ate gluten yesterday.
What?
My vibration is low and I have resistance because I ate gluten.
Oh, frick.
Dang it. Right? The mind does this play. But here's the thing, you're not in control. Resistance is just arising. Big deal. Big deal. It's just like having an eye floaty. You ever had an eye floaty? They just float by. Is that a big deal? They're not a big deal unless you're like, oh my God. Do you see that? It's not a big deal unless you identify.
It's not a big deal,
so
people.
So if you're in resistance right now, it's okay. First, no, it's okay. No big deal.
No big
Fully
deal.
Accept it. Place your hand on your heart. Take a deep breath, knowing all is well, and you're exactly where you need to be.
Yes, I'm exactly where I needed to be. I'm doing the Cool Podcast. That's a really long video, 10 minutes, and it's very quiet. I don't like that. I don't know what happened to our audio. But here's one. This one's kind of funny. There's a chicken. This has got to be fun. There's a little chicken.
Hello, beautiful heart. There is nothing you need to do right now.
Well,
there is nothing to do.
I'm doing a show, so
And you just
there's a lot to do, actually.
Feel and be in your heart.
Okay.
It's okay if the mind's loud. It's okay if the body's loud with emotions. It says nothing about who you are. Ever. Pull within. Pull all the senses inward. Pull all of your energy inward. All of your consciousness inward. Breathe. Watch. Notice.
Listen to the
But
sounds.
don't add anything onto yourself. Just let everything be.
Okay.
Right?
All right.
Let the dust settle. Let all the debris settle. And it'll settle when we
Nestle.
stop trying to control everything. We stop trying to fix everything. Yeah. Allow the clarity of your presence, of your clear seeing, of your true recognition to wipe your mirror clean.
All right, and that's a mirror. Okay, that's about all we can do of that today. I think that inspired me. I guess I just need to accept that things are crazy right now, but it's all good because everything is great. Because check this out, we, of course, as you remember, we had to do an apology to the Samurai Kid, and shout out to Samurai Nation as well. We had to do an apology because we made a bad joke, and some other podcasters let us know that happens. It's nothing new, and you can get through it. So that was some good advice to get from our special guest last week, Kreb. We got a shout out to Kreb as well. We thank him for coming on the show. That was a fun show last week. Remember that? So then I had the brilliant idea of doing a cameo, because that's something that people do. Some of these other podcasts do it as well, which is doing a cameo to apologize for dumb stuff that you've said. So what I thought I would do, I'd get a cameo from someone who was pretty funny. He was on the sports episode of the Cool Stream.
The Cool Stream.
And he was funny, and he taught us how to do Gaelic football. So I thought, I was scrolling through Cameo, and I saw him pop up, and I was like, you know what? Here's a guy, I'll throw this guy some money for an apology because he's funny, and we like to support people who we like, and I don't want to give some money to a weirdo that I don't like. So that was part of it. But anyway, he's funny, and he did an apology, and Samurai Kid loved it. So here you're going to hear the apology. And it's a cameo by Josh Prey, who's a comedian. So check this out. This is pretty good.
Okay. Boss, we ain't gonna even say your name. We just gonna say boss. On behalf of B Wolf, he wanna apologize and say, listen, the joke he thought was made in good taste, he ain't wanna offend nobody. His mouth got ahead of his brain,
That's
and
right.
his brain was moving like 50 miles an hour, and his mouth was moving like molasses, so he couldn't catch up just before the thing came out. And you know we all make mistakes. Now, I ain't saying this mistake should go unnoticed and uncorrected. I'm saying B Wolf wanna apologize to you for, saying something he shouldn't have said. But aside from that, Samurai Nation, what's up? How y'all doing? What it do? It's your boy Josh Wright saying, I salute you all. Samurai Nation. Seriously though, he's sorry, so please don't fire him. Cause we need this job.
All right, hold on. I think we missed that.
Please don't fire him. Cause we need this job.
Oh, that was good. Now that brightened my spirits up too. Please, Samurai Kid, I sent that over to him.
I salute you all. Samurai Nation.
I sent that over to him, and he had a big laugh, and he said, "It's all good." I think he forgot even what the incident was. He was like, "What's going on?" Okay, I guess he forgot about it. But anyway, he liked the cameo Samurai Kid did, according to Jeremy. So we went through the proper channels of communication. It's all good. The cameo, Josh Prey, check him out. He helped us out with the cameo. Whew, so it's all good. We're ready to do it. Ready to do the cool podcast today, folks. And of course, we have got some good stuff. I'm excited about this. We're going to kick it off with your favorite segment. We didn't do one of these last week, and sometimes we do the segments one week, and we don't do them another week, so it's kind of good how we get this little back and forth going. So, this is the next segment, and it's the podcast roundup. Talk about some podcasts. It's the podcast roundup. It's where we talk about pod, baby. So, talking about pod and talking about some of the crazy stuff going on. Normally, we don't like to lift the veil and talk about things going on, but of course, with all of what is going on, crazy stuff, we're looking around for any sort of way that we can earn some income, make some money, It's part of the reason why we're doing the Patreon, and maybe there's other stuff out there in the career world that we can find. So, which means we go on over to some of these websites, and this will all make sense here in a minute. We're looking at a website called ZipRecruiter. And I don't know if you've never used the website ZipRecruiter. It's one that you hear about on podcasts all the damn time. Every freaking podcast has a commercial that they do for ZipRecruiter. So you think this is legit. This is good stuff. ZipRecruiter is where it's at because all the podcasts are talking about it. Well, I'm here to tell you now that ZipRecruiter is a bunch of junk. It's a bunch of bunk. I've only gotten bad recommendations for jobs on ZipRecruiter, so I don't like it. But we did get something in that I think is very promising, and I can't wait to talk about it right now. That's right, it's a gig. I guess I'll take back all the bad stuff I said about ZipRecruiter. It's all good. ZipRecruiter is great because they sent us... I'm going to drink some water real quick. Let me excuse me. My mouth is getting ahead of my head. My brain is like molasses. Whew, and I got to take a breath, like Anna Brown said, and make sure my mouth is not getting ahead of my molasses brain. So, got to chill out. Go back to the heart so I can do a good show. Okay, so here we go. It's a job posting I got called Remote Podcast Show Host Internship. And I thought, now that's interesting. And it's for GSMC Podcast Network. Which, when I initially looked at it, their logo is like an eagle. And so I thought, this has got to be one of these right-wing call-in show things, like host a podcast about triggering the libs or something. But no, it's the GSMC Podcast Network. They're looking to fill a remote podcast show host internship. So maybe I'll send them over some clips of the cool podcast and let them know that I've got what it takes to be the next remote podcast show host at the GSMC Podcast Network. They're looking for someone who has the space, equipment, and interest in broadcasting or entertainment to host one of our weekly podcast shows on the GSMC network. And I've got all of the above. I've got all the time in the world as well. This position is for people who are looking to break into broadcast, college, and media school, graduates, or students who are set to graduate within a year and who have aspirations for breaking into the media. Well, I'm long gone from from being in school, and it's also a 12-month internship. You should expect to dedicate about 5 to 15 hours a week on this project, and that's nothing. That's peanuts compared to the time that I commit to this podcast and all the other stuff that I do. Recording 2 90-minute shows a week for a total airtime of about 3 hours a week. Boom. Easy. We're talking once a week I'm doing hours and hours of stuff, so this is nothing to me. Intern would be expected to record 2 days a week and has a choice of 3 scheduling options: Monday, Friday, Tuesday, blah, blah, blah. Rest of the time would be dedicated to social media and preparing for shows. I mean, this is exactly what I do. I go on the social media, prepare for shows, I do the cool stream. It's hours and hours and hours of preparation and also doing it. It offers an exciting and challenging opportunity to be the host of one of our most popular shows. And we're going to check out what are some of their shows. Also, the internship has the ability to earn commission. It's not a guarantee of income. Oh, no. Should be considered an unpaid internship. Oh, crap. For college credit or life experience. Oh, no. Well, it said at the top that it'd be making $40,000, so maybe I don't know if I want this or not. If the opportunity comes for an intern to earn income, the intern would be paid a percentage of the gross revenue of live read advertising. So it's coming from ads, from the ad revenue. So we might get a commission if we start reading some ads. So the intern must have quality podcast equipment, and we've got that. We got the microphone, we got the mixer, we got recording software we're running. We got all kinds of recording software, headphones, a pop filter. Let me take that one again. Do some editing here. A pop filter. And ability to record a phone interview or Skype interview. Here's some other shows that we can do. This is for the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. And I'll send you a link to this so you can check this out. I mean, you just have to see this. This is just unbelievable what you're looking at here on this website. We got the financial news podcast, the marketing news podcast, business news podcast, technology news podcast. They've also got the GSMC car podcast. So I thought this would be like for one in particular, and I guess it's just take the pick of whichever you want. But we've got one here, and this is the host that we want to be. We want to be the host of the following podcast. Are you ready for this? We're trying out for the host of the GSMC Weird News podcast. That's exactly what we do on this show. Can you believe that? We do the weird news. The weird news. We do the weird news. So this is the GSMC Weird News podcast now. Golden State Media Concepts Weird News Podcast is not your regular news show. We cover news that is strange, odd, or just plain weird. If a story has gone viral for being bizarre or sounding unbelievable, you'll find it here. This is the funny and zany side of world news. Here are all the fun, crazy, and goofy stories that you won't find on CNN or Fox News. Whoa, so stop right there. I don't need to read all the rest of their stuff, but we'll look at some of the other podcasts. It's basically a podcast for every single freaking topic that you could ever think of. It's the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. I know we're on the Samurai Nation Podcast Network right now.
I salute you all, Samurai Nation.
We salute the Samurai Nation. We salute the Samurai Nation. However, we are also thinking about becoming part of the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. And we'd be doing another podcast, okay? We're not abandoning the cool podcast. We're not abandoning the Samurai Kid or the Samurai Nation or any of that stuff. We would simply be starting and doing another podcast.
I salute!
We'd simply be doing another podcast. That's right, we'd be doing the weird news because that's what we do on this show. So we might as well just do another podcast. It's not your regular news show, the Weird News podcast. So let's see what kind of weird news they've got going. Let's listen to it because it's the podcast roundup as well. Let's check it out.
Is weird, odd, strange, or just plain bizarre
It's weird.
is really your cup of tea? Then the Golden State Media Concepts Weird News Podcast will give you that fix. Can't believe it? Well, listen for yourself as we deliver the strangest news you definitely won't find on CNN or Fox. It's the Golden State Media Concepts Weird News Podcast.
This is episode 151, by the way. Weird news. And here it is, the weird news. Oh, yeah. Let's hear some of this weird news.
Hello and welcome to the GSMC Weird News Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Podcast Network. I am your host, Heidi, and joining me today is...
I'm Stacy.
Marianne.
Jay, how's it going?
Thank you guys for
And
joining
Jay is
me.
there too.
Today we are starting off our weird news with something straight out of Six Flags. What? Are you guys aware of the Six Flags Fright Fest that happens this time of year around Halloween?
I try and ignore it.
I'm aware of it. I've never been, but I definitely am aware
Try
of it.
to ignore it.
I'm right there with Jay.
I don't understand. Yeah, I don't understand why people would want to.
You wouldn't want to go to Fest and just be followed around by like people dressed like zombies and terrified.
I already scream enough on the roller coasters. I don't need to add screaming while just walking around the park.
Hey, I know friends that love it. Me, I'm just like, pay money for that? I don't think so. I'm good.
I mean,
gonna
I
rush.
get
Pay
scared
money
like
for
walking
that?
around in the dark, like in my house.
Right.
Fright Fest is definitely not for me. But if you're really into Fright Fest, they have a new contest at the Six Flags
Oh, we
in
love
St.
contests.
Louis, Missouri. They're holding a contest where candidates can sleep in a coffin to win money.
What?
And specifically, you would have
the
to sleep in a
contest corner,
coffin for
too.
30 hours to potentially win $300.
And can I just say, it's so weird because I saw this one
It's
today,
so
and I was
weird.
like, first of all, 30 hours. Second of all, only $300?
Right?
That's it?
Yep.
I'm like,
Yep.
maybe like 40,000 over 30,000. I'm like, all right, maybe I'd be into this now, but 300.
gonna
I'm
look
like,
this up now.
I make more than that at work. Why the heck would I do that? I mean, so that's what's really weird. The weirdest thing to me about this story is, oh yeah, you get $300. It's like,
Fright
Before
Fest.
zeros on there.
Right?
There
Or
aren't,
why
and I
isn't
ain't
it
doing
like 13 hours? Sleep for 13 hours in a coffin.
Yes,
Because that's a whole
30
night.
hours.
Yeah.
30 hours.
And what if you have to go to the bathroom?
Well, so there are some. They had some specifications about this. So they're going to be 6 coffins, and they call them deluxe coffins. They are 2 foot by 7 foot. They also said on their website they are slightly used.
Ew, no. What?
I'm hoping that's just for
Just to
marketing.
add to the fright part.
Or are these like the show coffins at funeral
hope so.
homes?
They did not specify.
I just think, like, cause now one thing I say about Fright Fest is really cool, and I think the last few years they stopped. Is they used to do a Bill and Ted like Halloween show every year, and I've watched it on YouTube, and it's an amazing show. By the way, if you get a chance to watch it, watch it. They make fun out of the movies of that year and all this stuff. So they have some good stuff there. They have like a Beetlejuice show, at least they used to, and all these cool things. But yeah, like this is just something where it's just
Sounds
maybe
cool.
it's not good in their heads. And maybe even on paper it sounded good, but in theory, I'm just like, who would be that itching for money?
It doesn't even look good
where-
on paper. 30 hours, $300.
Yeah.
Doesn't look good.
Well, yeah,
at
the
all.
numbers
That's
don't make sense. But I
crazy.
mean, there are some people who would do this because I have
Yeah.
seen a thing where I think you could win a contest to go spend the night in like Dracula's
Yep.
castle.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Because you would totally want to, and your imagination would not run wild at all or anything.
Isn't it more money to do that, though? Like,
Right.
And not only that, but I thought I read in this too, like where if you do like the 30 hours, or something, you may get to keep the coffin. It's like, okay, why would you want to do that? Is it that comfy? It's weird. I'm like, that sounds like something like, oh, goody, I get to keep the thing that you.
All right. It's the GSMC Weird News. We're gonna be on there. I'm gonna be one of the hosts of the Weird News. Some of the weirdest news you've ever seen. Man. And they talked about contests too, which is like, I mean, that's what we do. We do the contest. We do the contest too. So we are officially going to be on the Weird News. And we'll get to the contest corner also. Just to show them what we're made of. So there's some other podcasts. America's Still Beautiful podcast, the Bible Study, the Pets podcast. This is all part of news and information. We got the Business, Technology, Car podcast. You got the Sex podcast as well, under Self-Improvement. Relationship podcast, Beauty Tips, Sports, all the different sports. So who the heck are these people? What is the GSMC podcast network? It's a podcast for everyone. Men, women, family, business, and sports. It's really, really weird. It's I don't understand. What is the GSMC, the Golden State Media Concepts podcast network? I realized that some of the podcasts we wanted to listen to didn't exist yet in the world, so we created shows around topics we found lacking elsewhere. They've got topics from MMA to Bible study and football to relationships and weird news also. Oh my gosh. Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. I just don't know what this is. It's all the podcasts, and you get to work on them for free, I guess. Here's a movie podcast. The movie podcast is your ticket to the latest movies. And you need that nowadays because we can't go to the movies anymore. So let's see what the movie podcast is doing over here.
Can't decide and torn between a romantic, comedy, action, or an indie film to watch for the weekend? Well. Golden State Media Concepts Movie Podcast is your ultimate guide to the latest movies. Join us as we dissect the latest on the blockbusters. It's the Golden State Media Concepts Movie Podcast.
Yeah, let's talk about movies. We love movies. Oh, here we go. Ready to talk about movies. What's the latest movies in town? What's the cool movie that you've seen lately? Let's talk
Hey
about.
guys, and welcome to GSMC Movie Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Podcast Network. I am your host, Cynthia, and happy Wednesday, everybody. We are midweek of another quarantine week, and I hope you guys are all holding up. I have been trying to get back to a consistent routine this week. I feel like the first week of quarantine, I was so committed to like not lose my routine and to stay consistent, especially with like my sleep schedule and whatnot. But that kind of fell down the drain last week. So it's been a bit of a struggle, but I feel like this week I'm doing a little bit better. I've been trying to work out more consistently.
You got to do that.
Obviously, it's just not the same working out at home that it is, you know, working out at a gym in a facility. So I definitely miss the gym. I miss her, but we just got to do, you know, make the best of our situation.
Let's talk about movies.
I just have to keep reminding myself that this is temporary.
Yeah.
You know, this is building grit.
I hope.
So I'm definitely trying to look at the glass half full right now.
Yeah, me too.
Nothing too eventful happened over the weekend.
Yeah,
it's kind of another boring quarantine weekend.
Actually
for me.
sucked.
Literally, the highlight of my week is like coming in to record these episodes. So
coming
gives me a break away from the house.
Go into the
but don't worry, you guys.
No.
I am the only one here. We
good. I'm here too.
Inch of everything in the studio, and I'm the only one here. So do not worry. Trust me. I'm trying to be as protective and as careful as possible, taking the necessary precautions that I need to, so I don't spread the virus. Actually, something really exciting that happened last night. One of my best friends, she dropped her first ever single.
What?
And it's so good. She actually previewed the song to our friend group back in New Year's. She previewed the song, but at that time she only had like 30 seconds of it done.
What's the song called?
She just randomly dropped it last night, and it is Fuego, Flames, Fire. If you love hip-hop, if you're into discovering new artists, then I suggest going to the GSMC Music Podcast. Listen to that one. Episode 142 is the very last episode I just recorded, and I give you the rundown of this new artist and her amazing song that she just released. So,
okay, we're going to go check that out. This is all going to be about GMC podcast.
Want to know the latest and hottest music hidden the airwaves?
We love music.
Left out.
So this is pretty much all that we want is to know about the GSMC Podcast Network. We're going to get on the network. I'm going to figure out how to... What should I do? How do I get on the network? I guess they want some more remote type of people or something who have their own equipment, because it sounds like she's in the studio. So maybe that'll be to our advantage, is having our own mics and stuff, and we can do the weird news. Maybe they're shutting down the studio. I'll do all the podcasts. I'm doing music podcasts now too, and the movies. I'm not getting paid for it either. All right. Well, I want to hear this song. So we're listening to the music podcast now.
Hey guys, and welcome to GSMC Music Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Podcast Network. I'm your host, Cynthia. And as always, super happy to be recording another episode here for you guys. And we already know the music industry is just always evolving.
It's crazy. I just want to hear the song.
While she just dropped her first ever single, titled No Hook, baby. Okay, not the baby part. It's just No Hook, but I had to add the baby part because I've been playing this song non-freaking stop. So again, single is called No Hook by Nova G. Nova G is the artist. So for all of my hip-hop lovers, you're going to love this one.
We're going to listen to this song.
Upcoming artist who I'm also extremely proud to call one of my best friends. She's like a sister to me. I've literally known her
Okay, we want to listen to the song No Hook by Nova G on SoundCloud. Here it is. Nova G.
Oh, yeah!
This is a new song. Nova G. All right. That's pretty good. We like the song. We love the song. Okay, so we just went down a big wormhole. We're going to try and hopefully get on the GSMC podcast network. All right, we like the song. We're going to try to get on the big podcast network, the GSMC podcast network. Check out Nova G. Check out GSMC podcast network and all the different podcasts. I think it's hosted by the same person. Hosts all the podcasts. Whoo, that was fun. What is some other segments we can do? I think that about covers it for the podcast roundup. We had some other ones, but we'll just do that next time because we went deep. We went deep into the GSMC podcast network. We love them. We also love Samurai Nation. Okay, we haven't forgot, and we hope that that's okay that we're talking about this. We hope that it's okay that we're talking about this stuff. I hope that doesn't get us in trouble. Let's see here. I'm getting a message. This is from an this is kind of weird. Usually I don't leave my email open, but I got this message here in Russian. This is kind of weird. What does this say? Usually this kind of stuff goes into spam, but I seem to recognize this email address. I wonder if this is from who I think it is. I'm just going to do the translation here in Google Translate. I'm doing translating right now, and we're translating this Russian into English. It's some message. I think it's from someone in particular that you may have heard of. Let's see. Let's play. The computer voice is going to read us this message here.
Hey Beowulf, it's me, the Mr. Rude Guy.
What?
Hey, I was watching some episodes of The Cool Show. It was then that I noticed your robot was acting crazy like a madman. I have located the source code that exists on my computer machine.
Oh, he's talking about Coolbot.
Many apologies for my behavior. I will send you an upgraded robot for your show.
Oh.
Okay, pay attention for my forthcoming messages. The Mr. Rudeman, out.
Whoa. That's crazy. It was an email from Mr. Rude Guy. I don't know why he did it in Russian or something, because I can't read that, but it says that he noticed that our robot was acting crazy like a madman, which he's talking about Coolbot. He said that he's going to use the source code to upgrade Coolbot for the show, because Coolbot was acting crazy and not behaving in the right way. Well, that's interesting. Did not expect to hear from him. I guess he's trying to make amends with us, and he's going to fix the Coolbot, which is good. We want Coolbot back. We need him back. He's an integral part of the show, but I don't know about Mr. Rude Guy sending us another bot. That seems suspicious. So we'll have to get Paradox to look at this and make sure everything's legit. All right, now let's move on to the next. We're going to move on to the next segment. This is a new segment. This is a new segment. It's called Review This. All right, it's a new segment. We tried it out last week. It didn't quite go as planned. I think we looked at Influencer, and we looked at some reviews on Influencer, but there weren't any bad reviews. So then I thought, what could we look at? What's a great review website? And of course, the best one out there is Yelp. It's Yelp, and that's the one that is all about food and restaurants, and we love food.
Oh, it's so good.
We love it. So Yelp is one of the best places you can go to learn about food and restaurants and what restaurants are like. And right now, we stay far away from restaurants. So this is going to be a little bit looking back when you could go to a restaurant and have fun, and it wasn't a terrifying experience. So I thought we'd look at this restaurant. This is one that Jeremy used to work at, called Wobbly Boots Roadhouse, and it's in Des Moines. It's in Des Moines, Iowa. No, it's in Clive, Iowa. There's a different one. There's one in Clive, Iowa, and I thought this was one. This one is also in Iowa. And Clive. So this is where Jeremy used to work. And so I just thought, well, we'll just see what this is like. This is way outside of Des Moines and over near West Des Moines. Not really familiar with that place. And Jeremy said this was okay, that we read the reviews. I said, is this cool? We're not going to roast them. These are just reviews. We're not trying to disparage anything, but we just want to check out some reviews. My wife and I stopped in for an appetizer and drinks at the bar on a busy Saturday night. We ordered our drinks and our very overworked bartender got our drinks to us. It appeared that the 1 or 2 bartenders were taking care of a full bar and all the drink orders for the table servers. This is like one of these reviews where it's just a long story, a long and winding tale. So they got overworked bartenders. That's no good. But they got their drinks. They were constantly running while we were there and did a pretty good job of keeping up with those of us at the bar. Drinks were very reasonably priced. We ordered the full order of pulled pork nachos. That sounds good. They were loaded with pork and other toppings, including their legendary baked beans. And that's good. You definitely want to be known for your beans when you're in the restaurant biz. It may have been because they were included in the combination of flavors, but I didn't see anything special about the baked beans. Oh no! The overall combo was good. We ordered an extra container of salsa, and we paid 60 cents for that privilege, but it was worth it. And it is quite a privilege to have the salsa. You never know. You never know if you're going to get it or not, and it's a privilege to eat salsa. There was a queue the whole time we were there, so they're plenty popular. Overall, a good experience. The food arrived very quickly, and our servers tried their best. Well, that's good. They tried their best over at the Wobbly Boots Roadhouse. There was a queue the whole time. What is this guy from England? John H. I've dined in 5 continents and every U.S. state. Whoa! Now this is what we want to see. We want to see reviews from all across the world. He went all the way to Iowa. John H. I guess he's from England because he used the word queue. And that's not something that we say. That's not something we say over here. And he's got some pretty long reviews of all different kinds of restaurants. So that's cool. John H. I'm trying to look for if there's anything interesting here. Oh, here's one. Nashville, Illinois. McDonald's. And he's not from I'm pretty not from the US. So he wouldn't know anything about McDonald's. Okay, so he says the service was okay. Food took about 4 to 5 minutes to come out. Okay, that's good. That's fast food. That's how long it's supposed to take. Service was okay. And I'll say to that, what you're just asking for a burger and someone pushes a button. So I'm not sure what kind of service you're looking for there at McDonald's. Usually it's kind of like, take my money, give me my food. That's about as much service as you really need. All right. I will not stand for the slander of McDonald's, but I don't know about the Nashville, Illinois McDonald's. Anyway, he says we got carry out. Food quality was poor. Oh no. My wife's burger itself was okay, but loaded with onions and other toppings were haphazardly strewn about the sandwich and container. With a little rearranging, it was acceptable. I got chicken tenders that were anything but tender. Crap, they were small, overcooked, and rubbery. We were already in the road and not willing to take the time to go back. Not a good food experience. That sounds like standard McDonald's stuff right there. The toppings are crazy, but maybe it was too crazy. I don't know. So let's look at some other reviews of the Nashville, Illinois. John H. He's up there in the reviews. Let's see. Donna W. says about the McDonald's in Nashville, Illinois. Drive past this place and go straight to Hardee's. There's so many of us here that we've been waiting for over 40 minutes for fast food. This is beyond ridiculous. I'm in Nashville a lot, and I refuse to ever come back here. The manager is seen rushing his staff, making the food, but refuses to turn around as he heard customers complain. He could at least turn around and apologize. Whoa, there's a bunch of people in this McDonald's, a bunch of bikers. Took 45 minutes. I love McDonald's. This one is awful. Not friendly at all. But they've got her order right the last 10 years. This is Patricia. She's from Nashville. Man, this one got some bad reviews. Dante was wrong, for surely this is a circle of hell. The woman's bathroom is consistently filthy, which is a pity. As this is this location's primary purpose for me. Just a bathroom. It's always oddly crowded, and did they just try to shortchange my toddler a nugget? Why, yes, they did. No. They shortchanged her toddler a nugget. That's no good. Well, I'm gonna have to. I'm having some technical difficulties. Let me just pause this. This episode, if we're trying to impress the Golden State Podcast Network, not doing a great job. We're having quite a few issues today. More editing that I would have liked to do on an episode. So let me just let this song finish out so we can do an edit point right now, and we'll be right back, folks. All right, everybody, we're back. We'll try to put something in there I should put some music or anyway. That's sort of an awkward thing, but we're still figuring things out, I guess, about podcasting. One thing that we'll let the GSMC Podcast Network know is that we're quick on our feet about solving issues and problems, and most podcasts would not put this into the episode, but we like to give a little behind the scenes. We fixed the issue, and that's good. And we fixed all the other issues that we've had on this episode. So, we're reaching the end of the show. This is it. What else are we going to do? Let's do a quick update here, the final segment. We'll see if we can blaze through this one real quick, but we got to do it. We got to do it, and it's coming up next, and if I can find the sound for it. Oh, crap. All right. That's not what we want. And here we go. It's the contest corner, everybody. The contest corner, baby. Well, I don't think we're going to make it on the GSMC Podcast Network anymore. We found a lot of issues. Usually it goes off without a hitch, but today, maybe I should have just waited a little bit and just sort of timed this one out a little bit different. But we need to update real quick Magellan TV. Yeah. Magellan TV, they've got the update. They said, hey, crime community winners, we have selected, and those who did not win will receive an email by the end of tomorrow, this was on the 23rd. So they should have received their email on Sunday. Thank you all so much for being the coolest, weirdest, and most inquisitive true crime lovers out there. We will announce the winners soon. So we don't know who the winners are next. I was hoping that maybe we would get a live update. That would be cool. Let me make sure. Let me check their main profile here. I don't see anything about who the winners are, but we do have a winner to announce, who announced it themselves. And one of the winners is named Lenora Claire. And she's a casting director and victims' rights advocate, featured on Dr. Oz, 48 Hours, Crime Watch Daily, Mysteries and Scandals, and The Stalker Files. She's got red hair. She said, I just found out that 70,000 plus people who wrote in and applied, and I'm one of 8 winners for the Magellan TV Docs contest. What? Even if we weren't in quarantine, I'd be doing it anyway. And Magellan TV said, we're so glad to have you be part of this. Interesting. So she's got about 9,000 followers. She's been on all these TV shows, I guess. Lenora Claire, she's a verified verified on Twitter. And she's got red hair, va-va-voom. She's going to be lighting up the web, talking all about Magellan TV. So they're going to get all the hashtags that they're looking for from this verified Twitter person here. So, and I wonder if that's was part of their plan all along, is that we're just going to award all the winners to these people who are verified and who have been on TV and our casting directors and have crazy red hair. Anyway, I'm just going to check out her timeline, just save that for later. No particular reason there. So anyway, it's been a fun show. It's been crazy. But we hope that we can figure out how to get ourselves on the GSMC Podcast Network, please. And this episode might have to go behind another paywall so they don't hear this one, because we had quite a few technical difficulties. No. Normally that doesn't ever happen, ever. And it goes off without a hitch. But sometimes when you podcast, you got a few technical diffs. And that's just fine. Just fine, I guess. Can't all be perfect. That's fine. We have to accept things. That's what Anna Brown said to do, is to listen to our heart and stuff. And we've accepted that we had a few flubs today, but we also had a lot of fun. And we got to listen to some Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network podcasts. And also shout out to Samurai Nation. And we also had Josh Prey with his cameo for us. That was pretty cool.
And his brain was moving like 50 miles an hour, and his mouth was moving like molasses, so he couldn't catch up just before the thing came out. And you know we all make mistakes. Now, I ain't saying this mistake should go unnoticed and uncorrected. I'm saying B. Wolf want to apologize to you for, saying something he shouldn't have said.
That's right. I apologize for saying something I shouldn't have said.
I salute.
So, that was fun. We had a good cameo. Thanks, everybody.
That was a samurai.
Oh, frick. This has just been a crazy... And sometimes you just have these ones where there's a lot of flubs, and it's fine. Thanks for watching the show, everybody. It's been crazy fun. It's been a weird one, but thanks for listening. Thanks to the patrons. We'll see you next time. Shout out to Samurai Nation and all that good stuff.
I salute.
We'll see you next time on the Cool Podcast, baby.
That was a Samurai Nation podcast on the Samurai Nation Podcast Network.
I salute you all, Samurai Nation.